Wasichana wanakuja kudansa hapo, ati kazi yao ni kutingiza kiuno. I remember I tried to keep my covenant with God. I tried all I could. But again, I was a young man. I had my weaknesses. I had my failures. I started even dating. And one time came, I messed up. And there was this lady who got pregnant. My own biological parent could not handle that. People started confessing, praying, and it was emotional actually. Some people started crying. He was a blind man. And I remember him saying, and he said, I wish I was not blind to see that young man who has confessed that.
Hello, good people. Back again. We continue with the testimony of our gospel artist, a man of God, a mentor. So, if you have not watched part 1 of this, kindly go and watch what we aired yesterday. You hear about his life growing up and becoming a house help and succeeding when he was still in that position of a house help. If you've not watched, I don't want to repeat that part. Kindly go and watch that. So, karibu sana mchungaji.
Asante.
Back we continue with your great testimony. And I'm truly honored that we are doing this at such a time.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
So tulikuacha umeenda shule. You've been given an opportunity to go back to school.
Yes.
You're very motivated to do school and you've completed. How will life treat you?
When I went back to school, I went to Kiama Secondary School all the way to Form 3. Then my mother relocated from Muranga to Ahiti Domba College. So we relocated to Kutus. And as I said, I don't want to talk about family. I want to talk about myself.
Okay.
So we relocated because of some circumstances, but we had to go back. We had to now relocate to Kirinyaga. So I found myself now in Kutus, and I had to adjust, and I got enrolled or admitted at Kutus Secondary School. It was a mixed day boarding and girls and boys school. Now I think it's a girls' school right now. I think they also changed the name, and I told God I would serve Him. So the same. I just want to tell people that you need to nurture your gift. When God helps you to discover your gift, because when I came to Kutus, this is where I'm going to give you a very divine life that God now opened my life using divine mentors who came into my life and helped me to discover the gift that was in me. Any gem, any diamond, anything treasureless cannot discover itself. There has to be somebody who comes and discovers that even in Kenya, we might not even have machines to discover we have oil until maybe the Chinese or any other person with the required machines or the required, equipments comes and notices something in you. So when God took me to Kutus, I don't take transitions for granted.
Okay.
When we transferred, every time God transfers my life, either from a certain location to another location, when I get to that place, I usually tell God, what do you have for me here? So I went and joined the Anglican Church again in Kutus, St. Paul's, Kutus, where I started serving God. There were some ministers of God who were there at that time who never discovered what was in me. I remember God never, delayed the transition, because the moment I transited to Kutus, all of a sudden kukakuja zile zinaitwa transfers za wachungaji. Okay. And so in Kutus, tukaletewa the family of the Sendis.
Okay.
That is now where my father, my spiritual father and my spiritual mother came in.
Okay.
The Reverend Alexander Sendi. And
Mushiri Sendi.
Mushiri Sendi.
Okay.
And Reverend Joyce Sendi.
Joyce Sendi.
The late mom. May her soul rest in peace. God brought them to Kutus.
Okay.
And I remember that day when they were relocating from, is it Idaraine, something like that, with that big lorry, kilori kikubwa sana, kimebeba kabisa vitu, wakakuja. I was one of the youths kwenye tulikuwa wa kwanza kuwasaidia
ku-offload.
Yes. Okay. Because I don't know why, we just loved this family. They came with the family, the kids, and I'm not saying we all, I think I was part of wenye waliwapenda. We were like, wow. Because fame had it. Word had gone that hawa wachungaji wanaletanga revival kwa kanisa. Ni moto. And I was those people who wanted moto revival. Mimi ni wale watu watakangi mchezo when it comes to gospel. Okay. I like revival. You know, I'm a revivalist. And sorry to say, we had gone through some, I don't want to be political, but we had gone through in the church, I had witnessed some cold moments ambazo hazikuwa na revival kwa kanisa. Kulikuwa na lot of tradition, a lot of, rigidness. So kama youth, we have our energy na tunataka ku-experience. Now, remember, I was a houseboy, nimeenda Thika, it is revived.
Okay.
So huku tumekuja, tuko na leaders, wenye labda hao walikuwa wachungaji by that time, ambao hao hawako na mambo za revival. Hawataki hizi
makelele mingi.
Now, tukaamua hao ambao wamekuja, mpaka crusades zitakuwa zinafanya.
Ya ile time sasa.
Yes. And they were known for, Reverend Alexander Sendi was, I think, tulikuwa tunasikia wanafanya missions and crusades in Cathedral, Kerugoya. So tulikuwa tunaenda za waimbaji and all those things.
Okay.
Na kanisa za nauko, and we were like, yes, this is what we want.
Okay.
Kwa maana, sorry to say, yule mchungaji alikuwa hapo mbeleni, na huko mbeleni, tukiwa youth, walikuwa wanatufungia sana.
Umekuja na mioto ya CU, vile ulikuwa unafanya CU,
exactly.
Vile kule PCA ya Thika mko, unapata huku, tuitane binguni pole pole, bado tutasikika. Of which it is true, by the way.
Yes. But remember, uliona ile energy ilikuwa na Gen Z kwa maandamano.
Yes.
Kanisa mkikosa kutumia hiyo energy, wataipeleka kwa streets. Na si tu kwa streets. Kuna clubs, kuna bar, kuna discos, kuna joints zimewagoja kutumia hiyo energy.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage our churches. Wacheni kukataza youth. Wa showcase their gifts in the churches. That is the only platform they have. Wacha watumie hiyo energy. Because wakija kwa hiyo energy, the best thing is, wakija kwa hiyo kanisa, kuna rules and regulations.
True.
And ikiwa kuna watu ambao hawananga mambo mingi kutii, they just need one person, an elderly person or a pastor, akuja waambie, don't do this, this is a church, don't do this. Huku watufanyangi huku. Youth, they respect. But they also rebel.
Okay.
They respect, but they also rebel.
Rebellious.
So mimi nakumbuka wakati the family of the Sendis came, we were like, wow, let's see.
Mushiri Sendi.
Yes.
Amefika. Kutus.
And I'm telling you, as I was saying, gold cannot discover itself.
Yes.
So Mungu alitumia this wonderful family,
yes,
to discover something that I never knew I had.
Okay.
Because when I was in Form 4, I was elected as a youth secretary, and then all of a sudden, the youth chairman. But my passion was teaching. Okay. So nilikuwa mimi nataka kufunza tu shule. Na nikaanza kufanya tuition mpaka kwangu nyumbani. And I'm one of those people who ambao hatakangi politics za kanisa.
Okay.
So sikuwa nataka kuingia ndani kwa kanisa kwa maana nilikuwa nimewitness an evangelist mwenye alikuwa amepitia mikononi mwa mchungaji ambaye alikuwa hapo kitambo and his life was not, he was a little bit frustrated.
Okay.
But now he's a clergy, anaitwa Reverend Stanley Katuai.
Okay.
So alikuwa amepitia mikononi mwa mtu ambaye hakummenta vizuri.
Okay.
And every time when he was an evangelist alikuwa anakuja kwangu ku relax.
Okay.
And every time tulikuwa tunaongea alikuwa ananipatia stories za discouragement.
Okay.
When amekuwa discouraged pale kwa ofisi.
Okay.
And I was like, singetaka hii mambo ya kanisa na politics. Wacha ni serve kama youth chairman na career yangu kama mwalimu.
Okay. Okay.
But when the family of the Sandys came, I think it was divine connection. Because I remember the mchungaji came, Reverend Joyce Sandy, and the first time she did was to meet with the youth and the chair, the committee and the youth. Akatuambia, nataka mniambie mnataka service yenu wewe inaendelezwa namna gani?
Okay.
So we give our proposals. Nakumbuka tulikuta CD to drum tunapigwa, hakuna keyboard ingine mzee nini. Tunataka instrument za nguvu. You know, tunataka musical instrument, tunataka hii. And she was like, fanyeni budget yenu. Yes, tunataka tupewe service yetu. Tunataka tunapewa chance za kuperform. You see?
Yes.
And she encouraged us with the husband, Reverend Alexander Sandy. They encouraged us so much. And they were like, we were also given a patron of the youths.
Okay.
Ngari Wavere. I think they relocated to the US. And he was much to the youth people.
Okay.
But also kwa hiyo committee kulikuwa na wazee kadhaa walikuwa wanatupiga bado.
Okay.
Konga hii youth hii. But 3/4 of the team walikuwa wanatu encourage so much. So to be positive enough, we took the positive part. Yeah. The team that tukajua ya kwamba sasa tuko na mchungaji ambaye anatushikilia. The other plus, mchungaji alikuwa na teenagers kwake na youths.
Okay.
So wakajoin the youth. Okay. I remember Mary Sandy and Philip.
Okay.
And then they came up with I think it was brother to mchungaji, Sammy. Sammy became a teacher of the brigade.
Okay.
He's now doing very wonderful in Narok.
Okay.
He became I think a teacher of brigade.
Okay.
So Sammy akashikilia brigade.
Okay.
Mimi nikachaguliwa kama chairman wa youth. Tukashika kanisa hivyo youth. Mchungaji naye anatuambia twende, let's go. Akatupea support. Tukapewa wachungaji ambao akina Pauline. I think Pauline Kedenji, the leader. I think I understand. I think
the late.
I think she passed on.
Yes,
May she rest in peace. Yes, I think I saw that on the online. Au akatushikilia kwa service ya youth. Na bwanake. Kedenji Reverend. And also Mudhike. You know, we had some people. We started the youth service ikaanza kupik. Ikakuwa revived. So ile talent yangu was discovered by the Sandys family.
Okay.
I want to be a teacher.
Okay.
I don't want to do a lot of things. I don't want to get into full-time ministry.
Yes.
I became a teacher at Sky Remit Academy. I taught with the director Munyi, Mrs. Munyi. They also nurtured me so well and my talent and all that. I also had a tuition in my own place, in my kwa nyumba.
Okay.
So I wanted to become a teacher.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, this evangelist Gatuai got a chance to go to Bible college, Kabare. Also, Gatuai fell into the hands of the Sandys, and he was given the recommendation letter to join Bible college, which he had always been denied earlier.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Kila mtu awe anaomba Mungu uanguke kwa mikono ya mtu mzuri.
Okay.
Because you can fall into the hands of a person who does not discover what you have or who wants to kill your dream. All aifungilie isionekane.
Yes.
Maybe out of insecurity and all that. Ama angalia your weaknesses, ameje na your weaknesses. So I remember Reverend Gatuai was so happy because he was recommended by the Sandys na akapata chance ya kwenda Bible college. He's now a reverend and doing so well in Kirinyaga.
Okay.
So there was a vacancy, there was a vacuum, and there was a chance for an evangelist in Kutus. Wow, now this is what I'm saying. A gem needs somebody to discover it. Now, Reverend Cindy, Alex, and Joyce, one evening, I think they called me and we talked, and I remember them telling me, we believe you can be able to manage this position of an evangelist. There is something in you, and we would want you to give it a trial and apply. I remember me contesting with my spirit, and I was like, politics za kanisa. We were on holiday, I remember. So December holiday, so I'm not in school. Nikaenda Katoloni maombi. For 3 days. We had a team ambao tulikuwa tunaenda maombi. Wakutuza kina Jiro, Martha, and wengine. We went to Katoloni. And I remember I presented my case to God. And I told God, God, are you calling me to full-time ministry? For me, I was reluctant. But the Sundays had discovered something in me that I never knew. Number one, they discovered the gift. How? When they came to our parish as the ministers, the Sundays raised me and gave me that opportunity to become the praise and worship team leader. So I started praising in the first service, and we could be given even a chance to come to the Kikuyu service and remain and lead the Kegosho, and maybe after that you can go out. So there is that discovery of the talent, and it was given a platform. So nikapewa chance ya explode kabisa. Again, tukapewa chance ya kuwa tuna showcase our talent. We started a group ilikuwa inaitwa Divine Dancers for Christ. So I discovered kuna some youth ambayo hawako gifted kwa kushika microphone, lakini wanaweza dance. They are shy kuimba. They are shy kuingia kwa choir. But wako na energy ya kudance. They just need CD ya wimbo wa gospel, kuja wa dance. And we discovered we had a whole group of people who wanted to showcase their talent on that line. So kwa English service, kwa youth service tukapewa hiyo opportunity. Again, tulikuwa na watu ambao kwa kamiti walikuwa wanaichapa. Hey, huyu chairman anaitwa Kiama, ameanza kuleta dance kwa kanisa. Wasichana wanakuja kudance hapo, ati kazi yao ni kutingiza kiuno.
Kina Tabitha said.
Tabitha was so small. Tabitha was in the brigade. But we had Mary Sandy in the team. We had Philip Sandy. Philip was even a darling. Like he wanted.
You wanatigiza sana huko.
Yes, you see. Mary could come over the holidays, but Philip was in that team, and now also being the chairman, I had to incarnate and go to their level and dance with them.
Pia utingize kiuno.
Yes. Sasa shida hata sisi wanaume kutingiza kiuno ni wasichana. Alafu ujue sasa wasichana, this is a cosmopolitan church. Kwa maana kuna KTI, kuna Haiti Domba College, kuna Ebeneza College. Wasichana hawangekuwa wanakuja kuimba na skirt. Especially dancing, especially that team ya dancing. So ile wakuja na skirt suit ama jeans. You see?
Yes.
And it's a cosmopolitan church. So hapo ndio nilianza kuchapwa. Ati wasichana wanakuja na trouser, wana dance kiuno. I remember my mchungaji defended me in that committee. When I was being attacked.
You were being roasted by the committee.
And I remember, I don't want to mention that, but there was one elder who said, no, hatuwezi leta disco kwa kanisa. Hatuwezi leta disco kwa kanisa. Na watoto wetu hata kuja kuanza kudansa hapo kwa kanisa. Wasituletee hizo madansi za shetani and all that. You know, I was attacked. But thank God I knew I had my lawyer. I had the pastor was with me. So nilikuwa nasema, and then our patron. I was like, inyu aliyai. Mwalia, lakini the final word.
You'll be like, let's see who laughs last.
And I remember one day, akawa silence. I remember aka silence huyo mzee. Huyo mzee yako bado, so unanisikia huyo mzee. Na alikuwa na hizi. akamsilence, akamwambia mutigaturumire ciana, mchungaji hapa, mutigaturumire ciana, mutigaite, msiambie watoto wetu wanakuja tikudance kama madaimono. Hata watoto wangu wako kwa hiyo team ya Divine Dancers na watadance. Chairman, sasa mununue mpaka uniform na tutawasupport.
Wow.
So tukanunua sasa uniform, tukasupportiwa kidogo na kanisa. Sasa tukanunua t-shirt zimeandikwa Divine Dancers. Then I talked also with my ladies, nikamwambia wasikuje na tight clothes sana and all that, wakuwe moderate kidogo. But again, hawezi kuja kudance na viatu za nini na maskat kwa maana anaweza anguka hapo. That's a team. So wakuwe a little bit considerate and all that, but wasikubali talent yao igongo chini.
Yes.
I encouraged that.
Okay.
And let me tell you, that team, kwa maana tulikuwa tunakuja kwa service ya youth, ikaanza kuvuta youths from the community. The youths wanted to come, waone Divine Dancers.
Wow.
The college people wanted to come. So tukitwa rari tunaenda. Tukikuwa na crusade, the Divine Dancers wana perform kwa crusade before hata crusade ianze. Wana perform like 30 minutes.
Okay.
And people would come to see before hata crusade ianze. And that's how we were able to manage the youth service. Ikaanza kujaa watu.
Okay.
Yes. Because I embraced the talents. Mchungaji wenye walikuwa wanatushikilia, they embraced our talents.
Yes.
So we were lifted and we lifted the other youths.
Okay.
And that's how Kutus grew.
Wow.
And especially the youth service. And I'm proud of that family of the Sundays because they discovered a gem in me. They encouraged me, they supported me. Nikapigwa right, left and center. I had my flaws, I had my mistakes as a young person. I was not an angel. I was very careful, cautious with my walk with God. But I never knew it was time for me to start the journey of my ministry.
Okay.
And I never knew the ministry journey had its own challenges.
Okay.
I realized there's something in me that I need to defend.
Yes.
So when you discover who you are and the gift that you have, when you discover that God can use you on a certain line, with a certain gift, now make sure you guard that gift. Because the moment you discover, the devil knows. He has discovered himself. I remember there are sessions we could go and sit down with the Sendis because they became also my marriage counselors. Okay. And I usually remember this one thing that my dad might not even remember, Reverend Mushiri Sendi. There's a time when I went for counseling with them, and there's a time he told me, Kiama niyo tigawana.
You have to grow up, mature.
Yes, exactly. That was now in my marriage life, when I was trying to get now align my life with in marriage patterns.
We shall get there where you'll tell us which is this wana maturity that you are doing, that a father was able to pick and see.
Exactly.
By the way, hapa hata una shida, hapa hata hatukuombei. Kuna marriage zingine bebe mchungaji anawaambia hii hatuombei. Acha hii upuzi wewe.
Exactly. Grow up.
Grow up.
Yes. So before growing up, they are the same people who discovered the gem in me.
Yes.
You know, and they saw it.
Yes.
And they told me, apply for this work of an evangelist.
Yes.
Now the challenge was, this is a work as any other work. It's a job, and it has a salary. But quote unquote, I am employed as a teacher, and I'm earning a certain salary, which is a little bit higher.
Okay.
So this was a little bit demoralizing when I discovered that this is the kind of the salary I'll be receiving as an evangelist. Actually, I think I was receiving double as a teacher. So I was like, because I was also a young person, I also wanted to pursue my dreams.
Dreams, yes.
But when we went to Cataloni for prayers, I remember that day, in our days of prayer, the 3 days of fasting in Cataloni, God convinced me so much that I'll be with you. It's not about money. I have the treasures, I have everything. It's about my calling. Leave everything and follow me. When Christ was calling the disciples, they had to leave what they were doing. They had to leave fishing and wholly trust on him. And this is something I also want to speak to our community, that ministry, the ministry of a pastor or a reverend is a work like any other work. Because that is something, I've gone through those challenges, even from friends and all those people telling you, you know, tafuta kazi. I want to tell you on the face, hii ni kazi. We are called like any other person. It is not just a career. It is a divine career. It is work. And I usually tell people, even prayer is work. And prayer works. So when you find a son or a daughter in your family telling you, I've gone to serve, I've gone to full-time ministry, wacha kushinda ukiwaambia tafuta kazi. Hii ni kazi. It is a job like any other. If people embrace this, they will honor the ministers of the gospel. They will honor the bishops, they will honor the pastors, they will honor the evangelists. It is not about money. This is totally different. It's about the calling. That is why even the disciples, mtu unasikia huyu alikuwa daktari, huyu alikuwa fisherman, anaacha. And they follow and they follow. So I was encouraged and I applied. I remember I did my application of an evangelist in Catalonia. And we prayed with that team of intercessors. We prayed for the letter. So when we came back to Kutus, I submitted my letter. Yeah, to apply for the interview for the job. I remember now the fights zikaanza. Huyu kijana ametoka Murang'a, tunataka Kamwene, tunataka wetu. Kuna yule alikuwa anatakikana kuwa evangelist.
Wow.
So politics zikaanza. Politics za
church politics. Yes.
Kuna kijana mwingine alikuwa anatupigia keyboard wa Meru. So it was like turenda gaitu ga Kirinyaga. Huyu Kiama ametoka Murang'a.
We want our own son.
Yes, actually it was a daughter.
We want our own daughter.
Yes, remember her. So
this is a stranger from Murang'a.
Yes, fight zikaanza. Remember, I have not submitted my resignation as a teacher there. Lakini nimeanza kusikia na kafununu fights, vita, vile nilikuwa na zile na politics. Mareda angania. And this was a chance for me to like, niona direda kake. Weroyo. So I never resigned there. So as we waited for, I think the final week to fungue shule, it's Kairimit, we were called for the interview to go and get interviewed as evangelists. But I remember I wrote a withdrawal letter before the interview. A withdrawal letter of my application. And I took it to the office of the Mchungaji, Reverend Joyce Sandy. If mom is alive right now, she could have given you that testimony. Because I remember later on, when I became an evangelist, she gave me a testimony that made me marvel. She told me, when you brought that letter of withdrawal, nikaiona, ya kwamba withdraw, you don't want to apply as an evangelist and all that. Aliniambia, she took it personally, akaenda akaweka kwa bedroom yake kwa Bible, mahali alikuwa anaombea. And she started praying for me. Akaanza kuambia Mungu, huyu ambaye anakataa ndio nataka akuwe mwinjilisti.
Wow.
I remember that holiday tulikuwa tunaenda kuserve mission. We were in a mission week with diocesan evangelistic team. Team ilikuwa inaitwa DET, led by one of our mentors, alikuwa anaitwa Reverend Dr. Josiah Murage. So we were in a mission crusade at Kianjege. So I received a call from Reverend Joyce Sandy and she told me, interview ni ya Saturday no, na dikana kwage. Gemora, but mom, mimi nilileta barua ya withdraw. Mimi wacha nikuwe chairman wa youth union. Akajera, she was talking in Embwe. Ngaigwa uregete goka. Kare gatika maundu mothe, kare gatika mbara icio ciothe uravurwo. Ndakwiro Saturday. Kuja hapa. Na korone tigiti utare unjire. And I remember Reverend Josiah anointing my head in that office, and they prayed for me. And they told me, go and claim the victory. Go for it. And I went all the way from the crusade, from the mission ground. In the morning, nikatoka kwa crusade crowd, kwa mission crowd, Kutus, nikaenda interview. I remember we were around 7 interviewees. So I was the last one.
Okay.
And mine was a tough one. Hao wengine walikuwa wanaenda dakika 10, 20, 15 na anaachiliwa, tutakupigia and all that. So the last one, but not the least one, was that lady wenye walikuwa nataka. Akainterviewa pia akaenda nyumbani. Mimi I was grilled. Inaitwa kukua grilled for like 1.5 hours. Yes. Nikapitishiwa hiyo interview kabisa. Yes. And every other time, every question nilikuwa naulizwa, ninajibu, naona mchungaji wake. Yes. Alikuwa anasimu na kiti hivyo. Anauliza, "Kwa mondo na gyo ya genge?" Because I believe they had prayed for me.
Yes.
And they knew that this one is not a battle fresh.
Okay.
This is a spiritual one.
Okay.
But because they knew kuna watu ambao walikuwa wanapigana hizo vita hapo kimwili. So yeye alikuwa anajua katika ulimwengu wa kiroho.
It's done.
It's done. So nakumbuka akiswing in that black chair. Yes. Como ndo na gyo ya genge?
For those who don't understand our language, the person is asking the whole committee, any other question? Okay. She's facing them directly, asking, do you have any other questions?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And one thing I loved with my mentors, because that's when I first found I was a lost son, just fighting my dreams out as a houseboy and all that. I had no spiritual parents.
Okay.
And in Kutus is when God attached me with those were my first spiritual parents. I respected them so much, Reverend Alexander Sande Mushiri and Alexander Joyce Teret. And I thank God that now I'm back and attached again. Right now again to the Reverend. So that also makes me a son to you. For those who understand the parable. After the interview, ya evangelist, nikarudi kwa mission crowd. It is a Saturday afternoon. So tukarudi, tukafanya crusade huko Kianjege. Tukamaliza Sunday evening, nikiwa Kianjege, the final revival. Ndio nikapigiwa simu. From Kutus.
Okay.
By one of the members. Nikamwambia, "Hey, congratulations." On what? Kanisani leo tumeannouncewa you are our new evangelist.
Wow.
I was like, wow. Yeah, interviews za jana tumeambiwa ulipita and all that.
Hey, that was fast.
It was fast. Hata mchungaji haja nipigia niambie nimepigwa tu na washirika na huko. So I was excited. And so I broke the news to the team, the diet ministry, the Reverend Josiah and the rest, and we praised God. We thanked God for the new position as an evangelist. And our revival was power-packed that evening, that Sunday evening, tukimalizia revival. So I came back, and then mchungaji called me and gave me that letter. Ya kuniambia congratulations and all that. Utareport. Nakumbuka nimeambiwa nitareport tarehe 5 Januari. So I had to tender my resignation as a teacher there.
Okay.
Was carrying it. So the season of discovery, I want to encourage our people. You cannot discover yourself.
Yes.
You need a spiritual authority.
Yes.
Go get a spiritual mentor.
Yes.
Get a father, get a mother who can mentor you.
Yes.
Because if I had no spiritual parents, let me tell you, my host Susie, if I had no spiritual parents at Kutus, I could have been devoured.
Oh.
There were demons waiting to devour, to crush my talent, to crush my ministry. Because when I became an evangelist, I declared war.
Wow.
When you declare war, shetani naye analeta agents ambao wako kwa hiyo level.
Yes.
Kitambo ulikuwa mwalimu, sasa umeingia ofisi ya evangelist, so ana raise my agents wa kupigana na wewe. Wale wanapigananga na mwainjilisti. I served God with zeal. I served God with my whole heart. I remember I tried to keep my covenant with God.
Okay.
I tried all I could.
Okay.
But again, I was a young man. I had my weaknesses.
Okay.
I had my failures.
Okay.
I started even dating.
Okay.
And one time came, I messed up.
Okay.
And there was this lady who got pregnant.
Okay.
That was a hit.
Evangelist Vito.
Yes.
Okay.
I had not married. She got pregnant.
Oh.
It was a hit on the ministry. I never knew how to handle that.
Okay.
So I was interdicted. I had to step down.
Okay.
Until mtoto azaliwe tujue ni wanani.
That calls for a seat. Anatumenya ni kege guciarwo. Wow.
Yes. Now, if that time I had no spiritual parent, my own biological parent could not handle that. We could have sunk into depression with my mother and my family.
Yes.
It took the hands of my spiritual parents to pick me up and tell me, son, it is not over until God says it's over.
Okay.
I remember I used to lock myself in the house the whole day. I've been interdicted. I was a very famous young evangelist. I was a praise and worship team leader, a youth chairman.
Okay.
I've let down the church. I've let down the youths. Because also the enemy used that lady to spoil and spread negativity. And the people who were negative, you know, who are, when walikuwa nanipiga kijana wa Murang'a sikuwe mwinjilisti, wakaichukua sasa kama tulikuwa tunasema yes.
We thank you.
Kijana wa mchungaji sasa, kijana wa mchungaji. Mchungaji alikuwa anashikilia huyo. Yes, angalieni.
Okay.
But I thank God because half of the people were praying for me, half of the people were defending me and walking with me, and the intercessors went on their knees.
Okay.
Because now this was a lost battle. And I was losing it.
Yeah.
But God did not allow me to lose it completely.
Okay.
He never allowed me to lose it completely. And that's what I'm saying. We might be called and we might be born again, but at times you don't know the traps that are ahead of us. And you don't know what the enemy can use to hit. You know, the Bible says, nitampiga mchungaji wa kondoo na kondoo wa kundi lake watatawanyika. So what the enemy does, instead of kukimbizana na hizi kondoo 99 ama hizi 100, atatumia a lot of energy kujaribu kupiga huyo na huyo. Anapiganga the shepherd, the leader. Anamgonga na inasikika. Na ikisikika, kondoo watatawanyika. Wakitawanyika, it is easier for him kukimbizana nao, to devour them. Lakini when they are united with their leader, with or you know, the unity of purpose, they are serving God, you know, he cannot be able to to devour them. So the devil knew what I was doing.
Okay.
I'm an evangelist. I have a very strong backup by my spiritual parents, and we are doing it for Christ. We did crusades. Nakumbuka tulikuwa tuna mpaka hii crusade yenye sasa tulikuwa tunaleta za drama crusades, and you know, mchungaji wakatuletea waimbaji akina Pastor Sami Kerry, you know, Reverend John Dongo, Jane Movoni, you know, those artists. Yeah. They came and ignited revival fire. Okay. We did crusade kama za the then Pius Moiro, zenye alikuwa anafanya makrusade kubwa. Tunatengeneza majukwaa pale kwa Sinachuki. Crusade inajaa. Powerful from the first day crusade. Either tumeanza Wednesday ina peak. And we did revivals, crusades and door to door. Now hawa waimbaji ambao wamekuja na comedians, sasa ninapata nafasi the whole of that week kuinteract na wao. Okay. Remember, I have a gift. Yes. So I started interacting with them. Yes. And they started telling me, yes, wewe ukikuja Nairobi, kuja tukupeleke studio. Kuja tukuonyesha hivyo. So I started admiring them. Okay. Wakiimba pale mbele kwa jukwaa. Akina Murwaru. No Jesu dagagotiga akoyaga gagokua watigiaraga koyoria waturikaga gutuma Viga, yes.
Ewe ni waturika.
Yes.
So evangelist witũ ni aturikire.
I remember after that crusade, and people got born again, people were delivered, kanisa ikajaa. Some of the leaders wa kanisa ambao walikuwa kwa kamiti ya kanisa wakaokoka. After that crusade, the next week, ndio sasa story ilitokea. Ya kwamba there is a lady na claim ya kwamba alipata mimba yangu. So after mume destroy the kingdom of the devil, anakuja kuattack.
Okay.
That's where now I started going down the hill. Na ikaonekana kwa maana imekuwa so tensed, I had to resign, to step down. And I stepped down to wait for the verdict. So that is the season nilikuwa nakaa kwa nyumba.
Okay.
I thank God I never committed suicide, but I was so low I could not go to church. Kwenda sokoni ni time kajioni wakati kuna giza, uchomoke uende ununue kitunguu kamchere, uje upike. Na upike mingi ili kupeleke leo na kesho. Usitoke kwa nyumba.
Yeah.
I remember KZV. Kagari ka mchungaji. Nikikaona siku moja hapo nje kwa plot nilikuwa naishi. Nimejifungia like 2 weeks kwa nyumba. Nobody knows where the evangelist is. My mother in Domba, Haiti Domba, hawezi enda kanisa sasa.
Okay.
Kwa sababu ya moshene ya kutus. Amefeli kijana wa mchungaji huyu. I remember KZV coming one night and dad and mom came in. They knocked my door and we had a fellowship. And I remember dad telling me, it is not over. And I remember him telling me, you are not the first one to impregnate a woman.
Okay.
I had never heard that. I was so naive, I was so innocent. I tried serving God with all the faithfulness as a young person and the zeal. I never knew you could make such a big mistake and still have people who are patient with you. I never knew that you could be soiled in madness and still have a person with their white garments embrace you and tell you, come, come son, don't mind. I remember that night I cried so much when he told me, wait, you are better, you are not the first one to impregnate a woman. Hata hao wanasema ukuwe stoned. Ni washirika wetu na tunajua ile mambo wamefanya. Yako ni vile tu. Uko kwa higher office, imetendeka hivyo, and the devil wanted to glorify himself. But don't worry, because God will protect you. Don't despise yourself. Don't think of suicide. Don't think of destroying what is in you. There is a God of a second chance.
Okay.
And that is when it lingered in my mind, the word second chance.
Okay.
I could preach as an evangelist telling people, there is a God of a second chance. I never knew. Kuna wakati itafika mimi mwenyewe nihitaji hiyo second chance. I want to speak to those people that even if the community does not give you a second chance, I still want to go back to my work. That there is a God of a second chance. Kuna watu kwa community, kazi yao, just one achievement or one failure, kanaweza tuma ashinde akipiga makelele kwa community. So I remember wakati nilimes that time, kuna watu walikimbia kama kuku. Kaka, ukaiona evangelist, niarekera mimi. You see? And so you don't need to get scared by the noise of the chicken. Kwa maana ukifuata hiyo kuku nyuma, utaenda ukute ni yaimo moja imetaga.
I want to get in there. Yes. And I believe I'll just ask it in a quick way because I believe we may want to have a session on that. Because now, when one makes such a mistake, let's accept it's a mistake that has happened.
Yes.
Because even right now as we are speaking, there is so much that has happened and we are seeing it in social media and we are wondering, sasa huyu tutamuita reverend ama tutamuita aje? You know, I would avoid to name names, but I think also, do you think there is a space of like now when you messed, Were you remorseful, or you're looking at the people who are fighting you, and we are fighting you because it's something you've done?
Yes.
So we are talking about, actually we are talking the truth.
Yes.
It's only that now we are acting like the chicken, we are really announcing it.
Yes,
But
yes.
we are saying the truth, that this man of God has done this and
Yes.
done this. Do you feel like, okay, it's true, I've let these people down, I've let God down, people, because they are looking at you maybe as their mentor, and they are looking at you as their children,
Yes.
or rather the youth would be coming to you for advice and all
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And also God, because definitely now that we are not even going to question that you have let God down. Is there now that part of you feeling now you are remorseful, enyewe hapa nimemes, as much as people, you stop feeling like people are condemning me,
Yes.
why are they talking about me, and then you miss the point of now going back and realizing, na ni ukweli, I need to make my ways right.
That's a good one. When you are hit with such an issue, the first thing you do is you detach yourself from the society, and you're left with a feeling of denial. And if there are no people to lift you up because of the community and the condemnation from the mass, you might even find yourself condemning yourself. You don't want to get to that point of condemning yourself. That's when you need now friends who matter, people who matter, to come and hold you. Right again there, you need to have people who tell you, like Nathaniel, this has happened, and there are consequences. And you shall face the consequences. And the truth is, one of the consequences is A, B, C, D. But as much as you shall have to face the consequences, they're going to be hard. As you face the consequences, there is another way out of retracting and going back to God and seeking forgiveness.
Yes.
So if you don't have people who come and bring that sense in you, you might want to get to that level where the prodigal son found no one to bring sense on him, until the Bible says he came back to his senses. But because you don't want to get to that point, denial might take you to that kwa pigs, kwa nguruwe. Ukideny this is not a sin, I never did it, inaweza kukupeleka kwa pit kabisa. Ujikute unakula kwa nguruwe, like the prodigal son. You don't want to go that route. Because sasa ukipelekwa huko, utakuwa umesuffer so much until you come back to your senses. And it's a journey to recoil, and go back to your father again. It's a long journey. You shall have wasted a lot of time. There is that chance that you need to go back. First of all, when you mess up, or you are umekata kutoka pale juu umeanguka, the first thing I would want to encourage or advise our people is detach yourself from the voices of the community. Try as much as you can, even to relocate. Get yourself out of that place so that you can have time with your God. You don't need time with that society again. You might want to consider relocating or tendering your resignation. There's something that Americans do. Akisikia mambo imefanyika na yeye ndio alikuwa in charge, wana resign. It's an honorable thing. In our country, people don't resign. But that's a very honorable thing to step down. When I was advised by my spiritual parents, they told me one of the things, there are consequences. One of the consequences is you might lose your job. And so it is advisable for you to write a letter of resignation. So I did. And I wrote a letter before you are interdicted. Because what goes in your file, even if you go to Kutus, I resigned. I was not chased like a dog. No. The people of Kutus still love me. Why? Because I also came back to them. I detached myself. I relocated from Kutus. I went to Kianyaga. And I started going to church as a backbencher. To church. Naenda tu nasimama. Natulia. I know I was an ex-evangelist. So I was remorseful. And not just being remorseful, I repented before God. I remember I went to my spiritual parents one evening and shared with them my intention to make a confession.
Okay. Wow. Uh-huh.
When it comes to living for Christ,
Yes.
you also have to accept the threshing.
Okay.
I think, and the threshing moments are very painful at times. That's why I said you need spiritual leaders to help you go through those moments.
Okay.
So it was time to start accepting the reality, and also to ask myself, do I continue in full-time ministry, or do I give up at this point and go back fishing? So I was totally convinced that God has called me, and for me now to be able to continue in ministry, I need to realign myself again.
Yes.
Unajua hata gari inaendaga inafanyiwa realignment ya miguu
Yes.
kwa maana ukikuta gari haijafanyiwa realignment inaweza enda kombo. So you cannot lead people when you're bleeding.
Okay.
Because when you're bleeding, if you try to lead people when you're still bleeding, you bleed on people.
Yes.
So you need to heal so that you can be able to now continue leading people. But if you lead people with your wounds, utakuwa so bitter because you are still not healed.
Yes.
And you might even infect others with your wounds.
Yes.
So I went to my spiritual parents, and they also played a big role of encouraging me to go through the confession.
Okay.
So I was hosted by the Sandys again, and then that Sunday now, as I was saying, it was one of the emotional moments. Okay. It was a hard one to face because it is facing the reality. Koruta maina mahira. Yes, like unajua ukitaka kidoda ipone, unafinya kabisa inatoka yote.
Okay.
So I needed that healing. I needed to face it head on. Because number one, I had relocated, I had gone to Kianyaga, I had gone through the period of denial and accepted and confessed, but now I had to face the reality and come and confess to the same people. So that service was being led by Reverend Sandy, I remember Alex, and the moment came.
Okay.
When not a lot of people noticed that I was in the service. Because I remember it was a Kikuyu service, and niliingia wakati kanisa imejaa, nikakaa pale nyuma. So Reverend Sandy, Alex said, now we have a guest with us, one of our old sons who have been away. And today he's with us, and we are going to give him a chance to come, and he has something special for the church.
Okay.
So I was welcomed kwa service pale mbele, na nikaenda. Service ilikuwa imejaa. Remember, it was an East Africa Revival Sunday. So we even had a lot of guests out from there. So the church was packed. And I told God, give me the strength. This is that moment that, I have to go through this.
Yeah.
So I had my spiritual parents giving me that support. Nikaenda, nikasimama, nikachukua microphone, and I did my confession before the church.
Okay.
Even before confessing, when I took the mic, I remember the church was like, wow, Kiama, Kiama, and all that. And there was that tense moment, because when Reverend Sandy called me, he said he want to give a testimony, and he want to share something, and you're going to give him a chance. So, and I took the mic with all the boldness and the strength of Christ. I faced the church, and I remember telling them that I came to ask for forgiveness. I came to ask for your forgiveness as a church, because at one time I served you as an evangelist, as a youth pastor, and in one way or the others I failed. And I failed the church and the body of Christ, and I need your forgiveness. I want to continue serving God, even if it's not here, even if it's not in this church. I want to reach out to people out there but I cannot go out there without your blessings. And because charity begins at home, I need you people to forgive me and release me so that I can be able to go and serve people out there. And if God gives me a chance to serve you, I'll still serve you. But I've come to ask for forgiveness because of what went through my life. I caused pain in the body of Christ. I caused pain to the church. And it was not the best thing to do. But I've realigned myself with God, and I told them I have had time with my God, and I've asked for forgiveness from God, and I also need forgiveness from you. And it was done. And it was a session that also God used for people to also revisit themselves. It was a session that it was not just emotional, it was spiritual. Because I remember after that, Reverend Sandy took over and said and asked the people, this is your son. He has come back as a prodigal son. It is now your chance as a church to accept him back or reject him. Now he told the church, you have a chance. And now here comes the text and the version of a prodigal son, now not from the Bible, but in Kutu's church itself. And that was a sermon by itself. And people are given a chance to accept me back, accept my confession. People started confessing, praying, and it was emotional actually. Some people started crying actually in the church. Reverend Sandy and Reverend Joyce, and he prayed. It turned to be a revival. It turned to be a revival, to be a revival moment, because that is actually where the sermon was picked from. It healed the church, it healed families, because I also remember one of the ministers, the pastors of the East Africa Revival men. I think he was one, either he was given a chance to give the word. I think he was one preaching or something like that. He was a blind man. And I remember him saying, because after that, Reverend Sandy and the mom prayed for me, and people asked whether they have forgiven me, and people stood up and said, you have forgiven our son, and we accept him back. And so I was prayed for, and then there was the session of the sermon. I remember that old man going to the pulpit and saying that he's not going to preach. And I remember him saying, this young man has already preached my sermon today. And he said, I wish I was not blind to see that young man who has confessed that. I remember him saying, ngũhoyaga Ngai ngorwo maitho makwa nĩ marona mwanake ũcio wahoya mũhera ndĩmũ embrace ndĩmũhĩmbĩrie nĩ tondũ ndaigua thĩinĩ wakwa ndarĩ rũgano rwa the prodigal son. So when he said, I wish I was not blind, I remember the church now went also into a very emotional time, and people started praying and crying. And he said, I will not preach any other sermon. I want to preach about forgiveness and people healing and people coming back and, forgiving each other. And that was the sermon of the day. So God used me to heal souls. People were healed, hearts were healed, people forgave each other. And I remember when Reverend Sandy and the ministers came and laid their hands on me and they prayed for me. I felt relief. I felt a heavy burden roll off my shoulders. Na ushaisikia kimzigo imetolewa? Nilisikia like that shower, some heavy burden imetoka kwa my shoulders, imewachiliwa pale kwa msalaba. And I was lighter. I felt loved. I felt relieved, relaxed. Right after the service, nikarudi kwa ile kanyumba yangu mahali nilikuwa nimehostiwa kwa kwa vicarage, nikarest, kapumzika. Then after some time we talked with dad and mom, and I was encouraged to continue pursuing my dream as an evangelist.
Oh.
So later on, there came a time when actually we met, we reconciled again with the lady, we got married, we did our wedding. So there was that time of restitution and all that. We healed even with the family. Then I went to Bible college. Kuna ile time ya kurealign yourself, unarudi kwa Mungu haraka sana. Na kurudi kwa Mungu is not easy. Because like that coil, kuna ile mosquito coil ya kitambo, ilikuanga unakachoma pale. Ile mosquito coil venye inakuanga, wakati umekachoma jioni, it takes like the whole night to uncoil itself, burning. So going back and realigning yourself, it's a painful moment. You have to accept. You have to accept the painful time, the season. You have to accept, ya kwamba, yes, I have to face this. You have to swallow your pride. You have to swallow your ego. You have to keep off your status and lay down everything and say, yes, I messed up, I need help. I messed up, I need a second chance. And this is why I'm telling people, when you just go and do your part and confess before your partner, before the community, before the person that you have wronged, God in heaven stamps that. He has done his part now. So it is left to the community. If they want to forgive you, that is now their bit. If they continue denying or rejecting you, wachana na wao. Wewe endelea na maisha yako. Confess your sins to God and to people. You see?
Yeah.
So move on. So I moved on and I healed and I totally healed.
Wow.
And that thing never disturbed me.
Okay.
I healed and right now I am in a position of an authority that I can be able to encourage a person, a young person, an evangelist, a minister, a youth who has messed up.
Okay.
And they feel like they have been rejected, they have been condemned.
Yeah.
Right now, I can give them my shoulder.
Wow.
People celebrate you when you win your battles.
Okay.
So when you lose your battle, when you lose your own battles and you give up on you, we shall give up on you.
Okay.
The community will give up on you.
Okay.
But when you fight and win your own battles, by the help of the Spirit of God, by the help of God himself, when you win your own battles, people will come and celebrate your victory. So I want to encourage our people, don't lose hope. Don't you ever lose hope. Don't lose your battles. Fight your battles to the end. Fight your battles. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Rise again. Rise again and fight your battles. Because when you win the battles, we shall come to celebrate your victory.
Wow.
Yes.
So now you're back in the ministry.
Yes.
Now you're even married. And so you've gone through the repentance.
Yes.
How will you serve God? Do you have a chance to get to evangelism again, or you have a different path to take? And where will we now come to even now record songs and now have the Kiama?
Yes. Awesome. Now, we have been realigned by God, and now it's going back to the track again. Ni kurudi sasa kwa mahali ulikuwa. Accepting ya kwamba, maybe before I go to that other point. Kuna hiyo point ya forgiving yourself. People might forgive you, but wewe mwenyewe ukatae kujiforgive. So I remember I was taught also by the Sandys. They taught me a lot. They never knew, and especially my dad was throwing some words which he never knew were landing on me, and I was wow. And they taught me about forgiving yourself. And they told me at times, sasa kanisa imekusamehe, you have done your part. Sasa jifunze kujisamehe. Learn to forgive yourself. Because most of the people wako stuck kwa hiyo trap. Umeenda umeconfess kwa wazazi wako, kwa community, kwa bwana yako, kwa bibi yako, kwa the boss, kwa society, na wamekusikia. Na wamekwambia ni sawa, tumekusamehe. Lakini wewe mwenyewe umekataa kujisamehe. So you still walk under condemnation. You're not able to recharge yourself and start doing what you like most and start pursuing your dreams again. So when God forgives you, when the society forgives you, learn to forgive yourself. Stop leaning on the past. The Bible says in the book of Isaiah that, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Forget about the past. When God forgives you, when the society forgives you, also forgive yourself. So Dr. Marite gave us a story of a person who goes to the hospital and he has cancer. And the doctors tells him, hii mguu yako ni lazima tuikate kwa maana iko na cancer ili cancer isi spread. So the doctor recommends amputation. So when the doctor recommends amputation, yule mtu anakatwa mguu. Ikikatwa ile mguu, wakati wa kuachiliwa kutoka theater na kurudi nyumbani, the doctor gives him the medication na vitu zake na record zake na anamwambia enda kunywa hizo dawa, ufanye hii, it is well. But there's something that one thing that the doctor does not give this person, this patient, as he is discharged. He does not give this patient ile mguu imekatwa, that rotten leg. Inachukuliwa inawekwa kwa borea ama inachomwa. Ikitupwa kwa borea, harudi nayo nyumbani. So when God forgives you, he forgets about the past. He cuts off you from the rotten life, the rotten mistakes, and he releases you. But most of us, we are not able to let go of that leg. And again, most of the society some of the people in the society go back to the borea and goes to search for that rotten leg yako, the past. Fairosi ya tene. Anaenda na ifichua, anakuja na the rotten leg. Wakati una pursue your dreams, wakati umeanza a new life, anaanza kuleta mambo ya 1980, mambo ya 1970, mambo ya kutus. Alikuanga evangelist huko, alikuwa amefanya hivi. Anakuja na files za kitambo, the rotten leg, anaanza kuambia watu. That is what people are doing, even online. When God has given you a new beginning, watu na Mungu amekuforgive about your past, watu wameanza kuenda komborea, wanachukua files za kitambo. Who is this? Mnamjua? Angalieni his rotten leg, angalieni his past. So I began my ministry and I ventured into Bible college. I became I'm a captain. I started serving God and I moved on. I recorded my music. And this is when I did Dikorera Regi. Wow. And sasa music yangu sasa nikaacha kuwa roko, nikaanza kuwa international. Nika flow, nikaanza kwenda kuimba huko Nairobi na mambo zingine. And God opened bigger doors for me. I became a church army captain. I was commissioned as a captain in Church Army Bible College by the Bishop of Nairobi, the then Bishop Jenga. And I started serving God. I became a youth pastor, a pastor in ACK South Sea, Nairobi. I started moving on, going, you know. And by that time, I had a family. And then I was not able to go back to Kirinyaga diocese because there was what we call overstaffed. There was overstaffing. There was no chance for me to go back. So I remember checking with the bishop, the then Bishop Ngoru. Can I go back to Kirinyaga and serve? And I was told there is overstaffing. We don't have a chance. So my spiritual parents told me, continue pursuing your dream. Endelea. Go. And I got a chance as a youth pastor in South Sea. I served there. And then there was this chance that came of a scholarship to go to the US. And I applied it. I'm one of those people who risk my faith so much. I risked and I applied and I had to go. So I went to the US to try and pursue my ministerial studies again in the US. But back home, before I went to the US, there is an incident that came and our marriage failed. And we went through a divorce with that lady. It was a painful one, but I had to accept it. So I'm one of those people who have gone through divorce. It was a shaky moment in my life. I don't want to get into details, but the issue is that I lost it. And we went through a divorce through the court.
When you're still serving as a youth pastor now?
I had to let go the office because now when you do a divorce in the Anglican church, you cannot serve.
Oh, for the second time again, you're stepping down?
Yes.
Wow.
So, and that is the time now I had to go to the US and continue with pursue my studies. So, nikachukua hiyo nafasi ya kwenda kusoma. But sasa kwenda US pia kulikuwa na challenge zake. Because this is what we call voluntary, they call it work study program. You have to sign that ukienda huko, you'll be working on certain areas in the campus for you to have your scholarship. So nikaenda US, Dallas, Texas, Christ for the Nation Institute. And ile kazi nilipewa ni ya janitor. Janitor ni kuosha machoo huko. So tukaosha machoo sana huko. Machoo za ladies, the men, clean up the trash to sustain your scholarship.
Yeah.
And it was also a sacrifice. But again, it was also coming with some challenges because this sacrifice is, if they do this portion of the scholarship, you also need to raise some funds to cater for some certain cash in your scholarship, of which when you're in Kenya, umesign ukasema, yes, you will be able to do it.
Yes.
By faith. Ni kama hapa Kenya watu wanapewa help. Na unapewa a certain percentage by the government. Ingine unajibiwa ujipange.
Yes.
In the long run unashindwa kujipanga wewe mwenyewe. Ama challenges zinakuja.
Sure.
And it's hard. So also in the US, I think that will be the final part of our interview. There were some tough challenges that I went through when I lost the chance to raise the money that was required to continue pursuing my scholarship. And that is something that hit me so much in my ministry journey. It caused deportation, it caused depression in my life because I lost what I dearly wanted so much to pursue in my life because of lack of money. So I think we shall talk about that as we get to the final phase of this testimony. Yes.
Wow. Guys, it's getting intense. You hear the lowering of the voice and going up, and that's how life is. Life is about tunapanda when God lets us in that season of climbing the mountain, you embrace yourself and climb. When God allows you sasa ni time ya kurelax, it's time for rest. You just rest and be grateful to God that you're there, but be ready for time now, because when you're in a very lazima tena urudi pale juu. And that is how life is. So thank you so much, guys, for keeping it here. What do you think? What are you learning from this testimony? I would want to understand. I would want to hear from you on the comment section so that I also understand what is it that you're picking from this ministry. Well, for me, I'm really learning a lot on how you can walk with God. And then, there's this song we normally sing and we say that even when we are faithless, He remains faithful to us. So sometimes, tunaachilia tu, and you see now, there's sometimes we go in town and your mom is holding your hand and you see something nice there and you decide, ila lazima kwanza nichukue, unachukua, alafu unagongwa na kitu hapo, but your mom will not disown you, atakuja tu, and I don't know why, I don't know whether your mom was like my mom. Umeanguka, umegongwa, anakushika, anakuslap, anakuuliza umegongwa ukifanya nini. That's how God works with us, but He never leaves us, He never forsakes us. He just lifts up, anatupeka slap kidogo, then we continue with life. What is that has really made you to feel that now life is over, you have been crushed? What He has said very important is that if you give up on yourself, even Sisi, we shall give up on you. So if you want us not to give up on you, don't give up on yourself. At least let everybody else give up on you, but you and God. And now it's an assurance that God never gives up on us. So it is you not to give up on yourself. Thank you so much. Please keep watching this. We'll coming back with part 3 of our testimony before we conclude our session. So bye for now.